So I'm so funny, not like haha funny, but okay, I'm gonna tell you a story. There's this fella that's been sitting out of his apartment since he moved in, and I have been trying to wave and say hello and introduce myself because I believe in making friends with my neighbors. Unfortunately, I'm not very good at it. I was concerned for a while that I wouldn't get to introduce myself because I'd wave and he would ignore me, and I was like, okay, it's going to be that kind of neighbor. The neighbors next door, I wanted to introduce myself to them, but I'm shy, right? So I'm shy, so I could never bring myself to go over and knock and say, hey, I'm Victoria, I'm your neighbor. But instead, I came home one day to find that my apartment had been entered by the maintenance without my notification, and they had sprayed for bugs and kind of flipped my mattress. And that aside, which I took care of in a very non-adult way, I just went to the front office and cried like a baby. I digress. Anyway, so that happened. So this is how I met my next door neighbors. I knocked on their door and was like, did you see strange people go into my apartment? I was all tears, and yeah, so that's how I introduced myself to them. Fortunately, that's been a jumping point for our neighborly friendship. But this guy is also another neighbor, and he's always sitting outside, and I've always wanted to introduce myself. And no, all I can manage is like a awkward wave and then head down, keep moving. Which is silly, because I'm old enough not to be shy. But I'm like that with anybody that I introduce myself to. Well, today I was walking Archer, and we were walking around, and I was in my own little world, and Archer peed and then started kicking grass, and I started kicking grass too because I was being funny. And I hear this voice saying, oh, you're gonna kick grass too? And I look over, and it's my neighbor who I wanted to introduce myself to, but I hadn't had the chance. And I'm like, oh, you caught me being odd. Sorry. So we spoke for a few minutes, and I was trying to get away from him in conversation because I don't conduct myself properly at all points when I speak to strangers. I say weird things, and it's like I can't make my mouth not say weird things. I was like, alright, well, if you see me being odd, just, ignore me or come be odd with me. Because, people do that. Who says things like that? But anyway, yeah, so I came back and I called my husband. I was like, Steve, and I finally talked to our neighbor that I wanted to introduce myself to, and I was just the weirdest. And I said, fix it! And he was like, alright, whenever I run into him, I'll explain how you first met me, which was another whole bunch of odd. But fortunately, the friends that have really stuck with me through the years, they're okay with my oddness. Those that aren't okay with how peculiar I can be, they tend to move on. And I guess that's my own little way of weeding out the people who can't deal with me. I don't know. Hi, I'm your neighbor. It's nice to meet you. That's not hard. No, that's not hard at all. Hi, I'm odd. If you see me being odd, come be odd with me. Or ignore me. Whatevsies. Yeah. Okay, so that's it. Me being weird. Bye. Maintenance guy's trolling. What's up, maintenance guy?